for you. So I started off with a 30-degree line just for the center, lined it up with the bottom of the page, placed it right in here, and along that going to be the cylindrical shape of this piece, and I've taken these sections here. So this is lined up with this crosshatch all the way through with these center lines, so that's going to be the end of this piece. So I'll just go ahead and highlight that section in there, and just taking the engineer scale just to use it as a little help, I'm just going to line this up here and estimate. Here's the end of this right here. That it's going to end right here. It's going to be the section, so I'll put it right there. There's a part that's just kind of smooth right here, and so I'm just going to lay this right here and put about 10 of these. So I'm just putting a mark, and since these are equal measurements here, just kind of placing them right there. So now I can take the template and just roll it right around. So here's the angle, and as long as it stays following this piece, it'll match up pretty good. And it's going to be a little bit of a double line, so I'm going to illustrate it kind of heavy at first and just move it up a little bit. And that way it'll give me everything I need. So first one just kind of wrapping it around. Second one just offsetting it a little bit. Like I said, template's there, it's just kind of giving you a guide. And just repeating this down a few times. So the first one is on the actual measuring line, measuring point. The second one is just offsetting it a little bit. Trying to get the illusion of the threaded piece there. So it gives that section for the threaded piece lined up. Here's where it's going to end. So I'm just going to come all the way up to here. And don't have to draw the whole ellipse, but just the outer edge for that section, and give this a cross line here. So any of the pieces that fit within this that are larger will fill right into that section. So just going ahead and making this a little bit bigger here. First I'm going to attach this tangent line to the last ellipse just to show the head just before the bolt. And then just set this part up. And just a little bit of a beginning, and goes a little bit larger here. As long as it's on the same center line, this is on the same plane, matches the elliptical shape all the way around. Building that piece up. So there you have the base of this section, and then as you see in the rest of the drawing, you can just add the hexagon right down to that level. And just for the level, I can just keep it at a 30-degree angle, so I can go ahead and even use that style. Build that piece in. So now I have it pretty well listed out there, and whether I use the ellipse, you can kind of see how it's shaded and built. And that gives you that section. Now when you go down the center line of this piece, right through here, you can start to see the same idea of the shading, so you can actually build this part up. You can go right with the cylindrical part first, and this giving you a lot of tone of the metal, so taking this and carrying this right into the threaded part. That'll look good. And I did the lines pretty heavy, so it doesn't matter. I can always go back and erase them. Touch it up from there. And this little cylinder piece here. And just almost like a gradient, dark to light right along that edge. And building this up. These kind of have a little rounded corners when you get to it. Hopefully you see it, and then around this part you can see where the shadowing gets a little darker. So I'm just going to illustrate right over the top of it. And I can always come back here and just pick out the highlight. Go right in here with a dark value. So it's just a matter of using a little bit of the template, or just straight away drawing it right from scratch to bring that piece up. And you can kind of see a little bit of a pattern coming through that part. There's that section, just kind of a straightaway look at it. Again, just look at each of these areas as a tone, almost like a gradient on the computer part.